Good morning. I'm going to put a disclaimer at the front of this video that is probably going to be pretty critical and negative, but yeah. So, the first thing, I'll tell you a story from yesterday and what I'm thinking about, and then I was going to think through what am I struggling the most with right now, and we'll kind of run with that. So, yesterday, I went back to the gym, and if you saw, I don't remember what I titled it, but a video from probably 4 days ago, I told this story of I went to the gym, and I wanted to share this compliment with the staff there. But when I walked into the office, the main manager that I wanted to talk to was like on her phone, and the other one was, said hi to me, and it just like wasn't the perfect opportunity, and so I never said it. And I was in the video, I was kind of thinking through like that's not exactly the behavior that I want in my ideal self, and so like how do you change that, basically? And so lo and behold, yesterday, go to the gym, opportunity number 2. So I finished my workout. I didn't get rained on this time, so I actually finished my workout. And in the back of my head, I was like, all right, well, here's your other opportunity to do this. And so I walk into the office, and it's just the main, I remember I was talking about like the layout last time. It's just the main manager and the assistant to the manager. I don't know what their titles are, but that's the kind of dynamic. It seems like they're sitting like across from each other at the table, and the other girl on her laptop is not there. And I walk in, and like almost always they like say hi or like smile or look over, but I walk in and just like they like are they don't look over. They're just like dead set on whatever they were doing. And I like kind of look over and smile as a like, hey, but I didn't say anything. And I was like, oh, okay, well. And then I just kind of turned around and started taking off my headphones and shoes to do the weight thing. And then I was standing on the scale, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll do it after the weight thing. And I was going through the whole like scenario in my head, like, oh, I'll say thank you, and then I'll say, and then I'll stop, and then I'll say it. And of course, almost just like last time, but this time, halfway through the scale thing, the main manager, she has this like donut wrapped in a napkin on the cabinet behind her, and she turns around, and there are all these ants on it, and she's like, oh no, the ants. And so she turns around, she starts like cleaning up that, and the other manager like leaves, and I finish my thing, and I'm putting on my shoes and socks and whatever, and I'm like, oh, like, do I do it now? And then this other guy walks in, one of the coaches or the trainers, and I was just like, and so I just waved, said thank you, and left. And I was like, that like disappointing, like sinking feeling that like I don't know how much of this is like me getting in my own head by talking about it, but it's just like I couldn't figure out the word yesterday, but it's like disappointing yourself, letting yourself down, and that's not a good feeling. But I walk out, and I walk into and remember I said the other manager left. I walk out into the like elevator area, and she's there talking with someone else with her finger on the elevator button. And I get there and I'm like, well, I also need to go down. And so they finish talking, and she walks in, and then I walk in as well. And mind you, this is like the dynamic here is like we've talked before. Like we are almost acquaintances. Like we've never had a discussion, basically. We've never talked. But she's seen me and I've seen her. Like we know each other basically. And so I get into the elevator and like we both like turn around, and I get this flash of this thought that's like, am I really gonna stand in this elevator for going down 2 floors and not say anything? Like how awkward is this gonna be? Because like, if it's someone you never met, then whatever kind of thing. But it's like there are so many opportunities basically, because it's like, yeah, hopefully I've made that clear. And so like half a second later I turn to her and I'm like, oh, so how long have you lived in Kuala Lumpur for? And I was like, I don't know what else to say. Like, that's the first thing that came to my head. And she kind of like hesitates, and she's like, I'm Malaysian. And so like, I've lived here all my life basically. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I just had a blank. She's like, yeah, I've lived in Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia. And then by now, like, the elevator doors open and there's this like big group of people standing there trying to walk in, which was really awkward because like they were starting. Anyway, so I'm like talking over these people to her because like she's going a different direction. And she was like, oh, like how long have you lived here? I was like, oh, I was just traveling and I'm actually leaving this week. But like I really like this gym. And then I said, oh, see you later. And that was it. So where I disappointed myself in one regard, I'll take the exchange. I'll take it. But yeah, I feel like this is probably relatable to many different aspects of life, because I think it's more mental than it is specific to a social scenario. But like the feeling of letting yourself down multiple times is like not good. It's not a good feeling. And I think as I was reflecting on this, I think it's like I'm waiting for permission, basically. I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity. I think if they had looked over and like smiled and like said hi, I think I probably would have said it. But because they didn't, I didn't. I was waiting for, like, I didn't want to interrupt, that kind of thing. Waiting for permission. So I don't know, man. my story took longer than I thought, so I'm already back. But yeah, I was just gonna maybe give it a quick minute or two. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna talk about in this video, so I was like, maybe I'll talk about, you know, how are things going? Like, what am I struggling with? That kind of thing. And I would have to think more about this, but I think last night, like, the first thing that came to mind was like, I think it's like opportunity cost. It's maybe not exactly opportunity cost. It's like, I don't know what I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm comparing myself to other people, other creators, other people online. But I feel like I'm going very slowly on this journey. And I don't know. Yeah, it just feels like I'm not getting, not making the progress or traction, not getting the traction that would indicate that I'm like growing at a rapid, progressing rapidly, that kind of thing. Both like business and personal brand. But I don't know. So anyway. Yeah. Just stick it out. Show up another day. And every once in a while I think about like, what if I just changed everything? I think I made one of these videos a while ago that's like, what if I just changed all my beliefs? That kind of thing, because I feel like my mind gets in my own way. My mind is probably like my biggest obstacle. It's just my own mind of like, oh no, but it needs to be this way. Or, you know, oh, I can't do that because that doesn't make me fulfilled. Or whatever it is. It's just all these excuses and reasons. And I don't know, maybe I'll end up using it to my advantage at some point. But I just have to get over there. But yeah. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. See you tomorrow.